2014. A year of over 900 races across an immense multitude of classes and formulas, and a year of wonderful race action across all three of Incarace's raceways right from March to November. Undoubtedly the highlight was another wonderful national weekend at Hednesford, and the big race saw Ulsterman Glenn Bell raise a second national hot rod title. The Tigra pilot did not put a wheel wrong as he led every one of the 75 laps, despite intense pressure from former champion Shane Murphy, who was glued to his tail almost throughout. There was more success for the men from across the water elsewhere on this prestigious weekend. Former Brisker F2 racer Gary Beggs holding off home hero Neil Wallington to score his first lightning rod national title. While in the stock rods, Mickey McFall finally raised the national title with a dominant drive after several years of trying. The classic hot rods were again a highlight of the weekend, and it was Lee Wood who scored a very popular title win in his beautiful Vauxhall Viva. In domestic competition, meanwhile, a new face topped out the lightning rods as Ben Murray made the switch from Speedworth along with several other Southern stars and lifted the points championship. Meanwhile, the usual star names are once again stock rod kingpins, the vastly experienced Mark Barber lifting another points title. Despite a big crash at the Nationals, it was former national hot rod star Andy Donut Stewart who took the points title in the classic hot rods, and he also lifted the coveted Bill Morris Memorial Trophy at Hednesford. The UK Oval Track Legends, meanwhile, saw Ian Hales score a record-extending 8th national championship in the hills of Hednesford, while Martin Heath retained his points championship despite a strong challenge from Miles Rudman that went right down to the last race of the season at Birmingham. The Incarace Banger season once again belonged to Team Fatman's Trevor Perry, who lifted his third consecutive points title and also scored the win in the destructive Man of the Midlands Championship race at Hednesford in November. In national bangers, meanwhile, Jack Foster Jr. took the points title to add yet another championship to the multitude he collected in 2014 across the country. He would also strike gold for the first time in his career at Hednesford in a wonderful 2-litre world final in May. But the biggest win of all went to Dean McPhillamy in the world final at Ipswich, the first Incarace driver to become Unlimited World Champion since Mark Holdsworth in 1995. Other national banger highlights included a somewhat controversial win by the Southern Army at Civil War 15 in January. The Birmingham staged Heartbreaker, where the 2-litre class outshone the Unlimiteds. The return of the classic Crash Cavalcade at Hednesford in September with a very varied entry of cars. A quite wonderful Unlimited Veterans Day also at Hednesford. And a dominant victory for Steve Pikey Bailey at the Champion of Champions at Birmingham, his third win in the event. On occasions, the superb junior bangers outshone their senior counterparts, with talented drivers and teams producing some wonderful crash action at every event as Joe Parsons raced to the points title. The I-Factor series continued to entertain in its 4th year with regular packed Saturday nights at Birmingham. The Incarods unquestionably a highlight in their biggest and best season for many years. Tommy Newton took the title, but the rest of the season belonged to fellow escort pilot Gage Ford as he took the Midland, National and Points Championships. Elsewhere at I-Factor, Jonathan Pooley's run of Grand Prix midget titles was ended in a photo finish with Nick Price in a superb final. While the eclectic mix of slick cars were topped by Adrian Bennett in his Mitsubishi Colt. In NASCAR, Aaron Cook scored a fine double of I-Factor and British Championships in consecutive races at Birmingham. While the Jaskars continued to grow in stature, with Corbin Lord dominating their season. The mod stocks enjoyed a truly incredible British Championship at Birmingham in September, with the experienced Brandon Marlowe lifting his second title in a sensational event. But it was Andrew Edwards who took the I-Factor title and went on to win the overall championship in the grand finale. One of the undoubted highlights of the season anywhere in oval racing last year was the continued success of stocks cars, with massive grids and immense entertainment at every event. The Gold Top Championship in October at Northampton saw Dex Linden lift the title after a stirring fight with Kelvin Lim. Dex also going on to win the Silver Roof for a fine double. While a very lively I-Factor final was taken by AJ Hemingway. In the junior class, the silver went to Jordan Thakra, but his ongoing battle with Gold Top Alistair Houghton let in newcomer James Faultless to take the I-Factor title. Junior drivers were certainly centre stage on many occasions in 2014, and the National Mini Stocks provided unquestionably the race of the year with their Gold Top Championship at Northampton. A truly incredible event saw too many different race leaders to count as Frankie Wainman Jr. raised his second Gold Top Championship in a nail-biting photo finish. The ORC Mini Stocks also provided great entertainment from drivers travelling from all over the UK. Harry Stewart lifting their points championship after a season-long battle with South West-based Sophie Faisy. It was also great to see the youngest racers of all present in the Midlands on a regular basis in the shape of the Bone Builders Ninja Karts, drivers travelling from as far afield as Germany and Northern Ireland to compete. It was Ulster's Aaron Ward whose commitment was rewarded with their inaugural I-Factor title. Briscoe Formula 1 staged its usual clutch of big meetings across the summer. Paul Harrison winning his second British Championship at a damp Birmingham in June with a dominant drive. While the Wainman brothers scored a 1-2 in the European Championship at Northampton, at which Tom Harris ended up on his roof not once but twice. History was made too at the Birmingham Gala night in November as Paul Ford and Chris Burgoyne scored the class's first ever Scottish 1-2 in the final. In Briscoe Formula 2, the big meets at Incarace were dominated by Gordon Moody, the Scot winning the European at Northampton, and the shootout final at Birmingham. The highlight of the Rebels season was their European Championship, which saw Ryan Jones retain his title in a sensational last bend finish with Anthony Masters, while Ian Chalkley won the season-ending Southern Shootout title after holding off Silvertop Steve Thompson. Elsewhere, the return of street stocks was big news after several years away. The armoured beasts seeing small grid sizes but several big crashes. Paul Motherwell the standout performer. 2-litre hot rods continued to grow in stature in the Midlands, with the consistent Chris Crane often the leading performer, while the emergence of female talents Phoebe Wainman and Hayley Williams was a highlight of the V8 Hot Stocks season. A truly packed year at Incarace in 2014. Here's to yet more of the same in 2015.